Hi Sam. How are you today?
Hi Alex. I'm doing well, thanks. What word are we learning today?
Today we are learning
vorher,
What does
Vorher.
mean?
vorher,
means before in English. It's often used to refer to something that happened earlier in time. The most common usage is in relation to events or actions.
Are there any false friends associated with it?
Yes, some learners confuse it with the English word beforehand, but
vorher,
is more straightforward and doesn't carry the same nuance. Now, let's look at the grammar of.
vorher,
It's an adverb, so it doesn't have a gender or plural form like a noun would.
So, it doesn't change like nouns do.
Correct. But in sentences, you might hear it used in various contexts. For example, you could say,
Ich habe das vorher gemacht.
which means I did that before.
I see. What about past forms?
Since it's an adverb, it doesn't have a past tense like verbs. However, you can use it in sentences that describe past actions, like,
Ich hatte das vorher gemacht.
which translates to I had done that before. The origin of
Vorher,
comes from Old High German, where it meant in front of or before. It has evolved but keeps that sense of time.
That's interesting. So, it's been around for a long time.
Yes, it has. It's fascinating how language evolves, isn't it? Let's break down
vorher,
into its components. The prefix
vor,
means before or in front of, and
hier,
can mean here. Together, they emphasize the concept of something being in front of a certain point in time.
Ah, so it's like saying something is in front of now.
Exactly. It emphasizes the timing of events. Now, let's look at some similar words with the prefix.
vor,
We have,
vorstellen,
meaning to introduce, and
vorbereiten,
meaning to prepare.
What about other prefixes?
Good question. With the same suffix,
hier,
we have,
hierher,
meaning to here, and
dorthin,
meaning to there.
What about compound words?
We can look at words like,
Vorurteil,
which means prejudice. The head last rule applies, the last noun
Teil,
determines the gender, which is neuter here. Now, let's practice some real-life situations. Suppose you're talking to a friend about your plans. You could start with
Ich mache das vorher.
which means I will do that before.
Got it.
Ich mache das vorher.
Perfect. Another situation is at work. You could say,
Vorher sollten wir das Meeting planen.
meaning we should plan the meeting beforehand.
Vorher sollten wir das Meeting planen.
Excellent. Lastly, if you're at the doctor, you might say,
Ich habe das vorher besprochen.
meaning I discussed that beforehand.
Ich habe das vorher besprochen.
Great job. Now, let's think about gender memory hints. Since
Vorher.
is an adverb, it doesn't have a gender. But if it were a noun like,
Vorher.
you can remember it as neuter because it ends with.
That makes sense.
In terms of usage notes,
Vorher.
is quite neutral and can be used in both formal and informal contexts. Common phrases include
Vorher wissen.
meaning to know beforehand, and
Vorher prüfen.
meaning to check beforehand.
Are there any similar words I should watch out for?
Yes, be careful with,
Nachher.
which means afterwards. It can be confusing since they both deal with time. Now let's look at some example sentences. You could say,
Ich habe das vorher nicht gewusst.
which means I didn't know that before.
Ich habe das vorher nicht gewusst.
Another one is,
Wir haben das vorher besprochen.
meaning we discussed that beforehand.
Got it.
Wir haben das vorher besprochen.
Great. How about,
Kam vorher an.
which translates to he arrived before.
Kam vorher an.
Fantastic. One more.
Ich werde das vorher machen.
Meaning I will do that beforehand.
Ich werde das vorher machen.
Now, let's see how well you remember. What does
Vorher.
mean?
It means before.
Correct. How do you use it in a sentence?
Ich mache das vorher.
Great. What's the origin of the word?
It comes from Old High German.
Yes. And what's a similar word?
Nachher.
Exactly. Lastly, can you give me a sentence using
Vorher.
in the past?
Ich hatte das vorher gemacht.
Perfect. To summarize, we learned that
Vorher.
means before, it's an adverb, and it's used in various contexts. You've done an excellent job today, Sam.
Thanks, Alex. This was really helpful.
I'm glad to hear that. Keep practicing, and I can't wait to see you next time.